The only kind of force that will truly create change in your life is you. The internal kind of force. I hate to say it, but for those of you that feel really, really stuck, and you keep thinking that somebody's got to pick me, or somebody's going to discover me, or somebody's got to give me permission to write this book, it's ridiculous. This is external versus internal force. And what you have to figure out if you're stuck is, are you the kind of person that is guilty of needing, wanting, and waiting for external forces, people, an event, some outside force to kick you in the ass so that you'll finally do the stuff that you've been dreaming about doing? I want to tell you something. No one's coming. No one.
The number one lesson I can offer you where your work is concerned is this: become so skilled, so vigilant, so flat out fantastic at what you do that your talent cannot be dismissed.
I realized that to have the level of success that I want to have, it's difficult to spread it out and do multiple things. You know, it's in order to be world class, and I've made a decision. I want to be world class, and it takes such a desperate, obsessive focus to excel on the level that
everyone in this room knows how to create. You're not a manager of your life, you're a creator of your life, or you wouldn't be in this room.
Stop comparing yourself to other people.
When we work hard for something we don't believe in, it's called stress. When we work hard for something we do believe in, it's called passion. Passion is not at the entry point, it's at the exit point. So the question is not to find your passion or find the thing you're passionate about. The question is, what do you believe? The question is, what are your ideals? What are your values? And where are the places in which those people or those organizations share your values, share your beliefs? Who is articulating a vision of a world that you would like to live in? Push yourself in those directions, be around those people, align yourself with those organizations, and what you will find is you show up every day with passion.
You have to keep yourself focused on whatever your ultimate goal is. There's stumbling blocks all the way.
You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go.
How do you create your life? You get hungry for something, don't you? Who has done something in your life that once seemed difficult or impossible, and now it's part of your life? Who's got something in your life in this area? Say I. How did you do it? You decided there's something you wanted so bad that you unleashed all your desire. You became obsessed with it.
People get laid off, you have a bad game, you get traded from a team that you don't want to be with. But if your goal and your focus remains the same, that, hey, this is going to happen, and I know I have the skills and I have the knowledge and I have the instincts to dig myself out of this hole, you will dig yourself out of the hole. You have to control the situation. Don't let the situation control you.
Your life journey is about learning to become more of who you are and fulfilling the highest, truest expression of yourself as a human being.
The people in life that get what they want are the ones that aren't waiting for an external force to validate their dreams, to inspire them, to give them permission. It's the people that realize that success, that happiness, that control, it comes from the internal force. And what is the internal force? It's you. It's you. It's you being able to realize that no one's going to do the work for you.
We try to hire really smart people, but we have a very simple organization, and we try to focus and do very few things well. And focusing's hard, because focusing doesn't mean saying yes, it means saying no. So we decide not to do a lot of things, so we can focus on a few handfuls of things and do them well.
For several years, I gave myself a way out.
When you were 300 pounds?
When I was 300 pounds, when I was, all the way up until I was 24 years old. I would climb a mountain, I'd fall back down. I start climbing, I fall back down. For the first 24 years of my life. I went to my first hell week, my second hell week, and then my third hell week came in SEAL training, and the CEO, Captain Bowen, looked at me. I'm on crutches, I'm all jacked up. He says, hey, this is your last time you're gonna go through buds. This is it. I had several stress fractures. I had double pneumonia. I was jacked up, and he gave me a few months to heal. He said, this is your last time going through. I shouldn't even let you go back through it.
Wow.
I started Navy SEAL training with stress fractures. Stretch fractures,
That's
not
hard to finish.
splints.
That's hard to finish.
Stretch fractures. Starting the hardest training, arguably the hardest training in the world with stretch fractures. And this is when I started to not put a cap on the body if the mind is there. Every morning I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to my dive cage, go in there before anybody saw me. I'd get duct tape, and I would tape from my forefoot all the way up to the mid of my calf, and I would put 2 black socks on. And so I ran not using the pivot.
Oh my gosh.
And I ran my hip flexors. So for the first 45 minutes to an hour, I was in absolute excruciating pain. But what motivated me through that whole process was the fact that this kid came from that. I'm in the hardest training in the world, in the worst shape in my entire life. What if I can graduate amongst these studs?
Wow.
All these guys around me are studs. They're stallions. They're gladiators in my class. They're all healthy. Most of them. They're not broken like this. They may have some, everybody's sick going through that training. But if I can graduate, it would change everything for me. If I can start the hardest training in the world, broken, and graduate. So my mind fed off that. You are now, from the weakest man, you are now the hardest man to ever live. If you can do this. If you can do this. Life is one big mind game. And you're playing it with yourself. Is it true? I don't care. It got me through the hardest training, starting out broken. Where most people quit, I had just started. And when you take that mindset and you learn to flip that around, that's what made me powerful. And my body followed. And 3 months later, my stretch fractures were healed by running on them.
There is incredible and indelible influence and imprinting going on your philosophy and on your mind when you read a book. So you have a conversation with someone, and I'm sure you've had a conversation, maybe it's with a chef or a great entrepreneur or a wise human being, and that maybe it was just one conversation. But that person in that 10-minute conversation or hour-long conversation said something to you that formed your philosophy that changed the rest of your life. Well, that's what you can get in a book. You can have a conversation tonight with Kanye. You can have a conversation the next night with Edison. You can have a conversation 2 nights from now with Nelson Mandela. You can read the biography that I recently read of Elon Musk. You can read about Steve Jobs. You can read about Vincent van Gogh's life. You can read about Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. You can read about the titans of industry and what they went through and how they innovated and how they dealt with struggles and how they dealt with wealth. You can read books on productivity from the most productive people on the planet. You can learn how people who built companies like IKEA and Red Bull, how they did it. They took a small idea and built it into an empire. So what I'm suggesting to you with great love and respect, as I always do in these mastery sessions, is reading a book is nothing more than having a conversation with the author. And you can spend your evenings or mornings or afternoons or lunchtimes connecting with the greatest minds who have ever graced the planet. You cannot put a price tag on that.
I want you to borrow confidence from the past. You see, when we're doing something where we have to muster up the confidence, we think of the things that could go wrong. We think of, well, what if I don't come through? What if I don't say the right things? I need to rehearse this over and over. What if? What if we change that? And instead of thinking about what could go wrong, of course, we know this, start thinking about what could go right. But better yet, rob confidence from the past. Go look in your past at times when you weren't sure if you'd go through, but you made it happen. When you thought you wanted the girl and you got the girl, or you got the guy, you got the job, you got the deal, you got the money, you got the sale. A time you scored the touchdown, you got the run, you were good at band, you were the star of the play. Rob confidence from the past. Remind your body, remind your cells, remind your subconscious what it felt like and bring it into the present time. I'm telling you, you can transcend that old confidence into your current state and watch your state of mind change just like that.